Welcome to Ignite Success. I am your host, Wendy Barlin, and today we have Veronica Larios with us. We're going to be talking about mid-level employees, what to do next, some of the stresses, frustrations. Welcome, Veronica.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for having me. Pleasure being here.
So, were you personally working in corporate America before you decided to coach and show others a different way?
Yes, I worked in corporate America for about 20 years in the insurance and finance industry, and I transitioned into business consulting and coaching for mid-career professionals as well as new entrepreneurs that have just left corporate as well.
So if I'm a mid-level professional in the insurance industry, as an example, what would be a point where I would say enough? Is there somewhere that you could say to a client, this is the point where you should think about something else, either leaving corporate America or switching jobs? Is there something that you look for in someone's behavior or in their life that can guide them that this is the time?
Certainly, some of the things that we look for is if they have a very high level of stress. It can be shown as physical symptoms, anxiety. If there are no boundaries where they are also taking calls during all hours of the day, evening, outside of their work hours, and if it is interfering with their personal life. Those key things, especially if they also have no motivation to go to work, are things that are usually stress, but it can lead to burnout. And once you start seeing chronic burnout is when there's a concern that they should start looking at other avenues, whether it may be changing a job, because sometimes the environment can make a difference, or they may be looking at another field of business if it's no longer aligning with their purpose.
That's a great point at which they reach out to someone like you to assist. I worked in tax season for 25 years. I did tax seasons. And to your point about how our body deals with the stress, one year I got toothache, really bad toothache. So I went to the dentist in March, middle of tax season. I went to the dentist and I said, I think I have a cavity. You need to do an x-ray. Nothing. She said, your teeth are perfect. There is nothing wrong with your teeth. And I said, it can't be. I'm in agony. And that was one example of the stress that my body was under 25 tax seasons in a row. So that was a time for me to reach out and say, what can I do differently? And I hear you that for people in corporate America who start to feel it in their body, start to see it in their life, that's a good time to reach out to you. And I read a lot on the internet, which probably I shouldn't, but I read a lot on the internet about this quiet quitting. What do you think about quiet quitting, Veronica?
Well, it depends. I think it is very individual. I am not against quiet quitting because what's happening is a lot of individuals are just learning that they need to set boundaries. And if you are going to work every single day, if you are doing your job, and by your job, I mean you are fulfilling your responsibilities, then that is perfectly good. What's happening with a lot of individuals is that they're seeing that they have gone above and beyond that, and their needs are not being met in the workplace. So my question would be is, what is the workplace, what are the leaders doing to address their emotional, physical, and communicating their well-being concerns? Because many times it's a lack of communication, and we just need to build a better work environment for them and see if we're crossing any boundaries. So I do think that quiet quitting is a concern that we need to worry about, because it's just indicating that a lot of people are overworked and stressed right now.
which is great business for you, right? So I would say if there's somebody out there who is quiet quitting, that perhaps it's a sign that you want to work with someone like Veronica who can help you establish what really is the issue here. Is it the work? Is it the environment? Is it a personal issue? So thank you for your opinion. This is a very hot topic, and we certainly appreciate your expert thoughts.
Thank you. And and it's even if they decide not to work with me, sometimes something as simple as doing a mindfulness practice of a breathing technique or trying to find other ways for personal development would be good. Right now, we have over 90% of individuals saying they have some level of stress in the workplace. So with that in mind, it is a topic and something we do need to address.
That's a surprising statistics, 90%. With so many people being remote and home-based, I actually would have thought that percentage would be way down, right? Because people are working at home in their slippers, going into the kitchen to get coffee whenever they like. So I'm really surprised, but perhaps the remote work situation is actually flipped and is now causing other stresses because I'm in the home with my dog. I got laundry that I can see out of the corner of my eye that needs doing. That's really a surprising statistic, Veronica.
Well, what's happening, research has found, is that even though we're at home, the workplace is demanding a constant checking in. At least, some of my clients have indicated they're working from home, but for instance, they may have to be around the clock being monitored. So the level of stress varies by individual, of course, but it is a stressful environment, whether you're in the office or at home, if you constantly have to be on a very heightened state of alert when you're working.
And some of it is the expenses too. I've done a lot of consulting with clients about home office deductions. And when you're an employee in corporate America, you can't deduct your home office. So all the expenses that you have, running your air conditioning, toilet paper, everything else you use on a daily basis, now you're having to pay for. And I think financially, given inflation and all the other expenses people are facing, that perhaps that's an added stress as well. Business owners get to deduct their home office if they truly work from home, but employees don't. I think the money piece is adding an additional frustration to a lot of employees today. Would you agree?
I do agree, especially because a lot of individuals are hearing because they're working at home, it is seen as a perk. So there is a reduced advancement financially. So with inflation and with everything that is going on, it increases the stress level and it makes it difficult for a lot of individuals to be able to economically be able to afford even just looking for another job, because that in itself can be expensive. So it does increase the stress level, and a lot of clients have indicated that alone, the financial aspect alone makes it very difficult for them to be able to achieve a healthier balance between their life and work.
Thank you. We appreciate you being with us, Veronica. Thank you for your honest feedback. That was Ignite Success. I am your host, Wendy Barlin. We will see you next time.